A good Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. This is the exclusive segment that we prepared for mainland United States and its trust territories. Again, this is Gavin Batista, your host at the Prosperity Channel. So the topic is very clear. The topic is all about how to eliminate two things. Number one, the shootings, the mass shootings, which is already there. The proposal is already finished. It's going to be express mailed to the President of the United States. Furnished copy, of course, our great Secretary of the Homeland Security, none other than Secretary Noem. So the main problem is the immigration problem, okay? I don't want to sound redundant again to our mainstream American audience, but the fact of the matter is I went to the United States in July 1989, then called Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of people said, including some of my neighbors here, well, you overstayed. You stayed here for 3 months. For a year, those are all hogwash. I never overstayed in America. So I stayed in Atlanta and Philadelphia, about 4 days in Philadelphia, 1 day in New York, in Brooklyn, New York, and a total of 12 days in Atlanta. That's it. I immediately left back to my country of origin, the Philippines, and then I went back again in the 1990s, went back again to the Philippines, and then went back to the United States, and on the 4th time, I decided to apply for a green card, which I immediately got, and here I am applying to become a U.S. citizen. So that's my history as an American. Now, the reason why there's a lot of brickbats and what have you out there is because they are anti-American. In fact, I don't know why they're here. But that is a long story that should be addressed to the FBI. Like Wendell Managat, Ernest Cerdena, Sonny Valino, Anselmo Cruz. I don't know why they're here. But I know the reason why. They came here to steal from me and apply it to other countries or certain padrinos back in the Philippines, which I will name to the FBI. I will name one by one to the FBI. So it's very clear that I am here to protect the interest at large of the United States of America and not any other foreign country. As President Trump clearly said, America first. Okay, that's clear. So I am not associated with them. However, they want to associate with me because when I was in the Philippines, they made good money to sound very diplomatic with certain individuals or business personas back in the Philippines. So let me get into the bottom line. My proposal to the President, President Trump, and the Secretary, the great Secretary of the Homeland Security, let me underline that word, security, is to have what I think the former Doge Secretary or head Elon Musk mentioned about having an achievement report. For me, that is so basic. So I'm proposing to the new, only the new, in fairness, okay, the new immigrants who would like to become an American citizen, you are going to be required, at least in the next 5 years, to submit a monthly achievement report. A monthly achievement report to prove your sincerity, your worth, your absolute allegiance to the United States of America. I repeat, the monthly achievement report is not a harassment case. Again, George Soros will say that, or some nut out there would say, oh, come on, we don't need that. Oh, really? This will determine your validation that you are going to become an asset of this great nation. Not to mention, like, if you immediately want to apply to the military and become part of it, I think that would be superb, brilliant idea. Okay? But for individuals who are not, how do I say it in a diplomatic way, who are not eligible to become part of the U.S. Navy, the U.S. Air Force, and the military enterprise at large, this is what you must do to make sure that you are a productive, essential, and an asset to this great nation which we call the United States of America. So the monthly report goes like this. Every month you must do at least 9 achievements. You must achieve, you must deliver, you must make it happen in the name of the United States of America to prove that you are a great, productive, good citizen of this nation. If you cannot do 9, then start with 4. Start with 1. But as the years go by, that will have to accumulate. In other words, this is going to become a cumulative effect in your 5-year stay. Because on the 5th year, I can already tell you, people will love you. American mainstream love productive citizens. They respect, they honor, they provide support to these types of citizens. And to be fair with you, okay, to be fair with you, what has America done in return? Well, I received this, I got this incentive, etc., etc. So, the 9 achievements, and in return, what has America done for you? You got a good job. You got a good pension. You got a good support from, let's say, the Business Chamber of Commerce, etc., etc. Even small things, like when you talk about an achievement, I helped my HOA to provide flowers for our neighborhood. You know, what is that? I planted flowers. I made our neighborhood look good because of the following measures, like I clean the streets, and the list goes on. It doesn't have to be big, especially if, let's say, you are not capable of doing it. But if you have a PhD, well, you can start by, let's say, I submitted the proposal to the American Cancer Society to solve cancer because of the following measures. Like, I'm doing it right now. I don't believe in clinical studies. I believe in better systems to fast track solving cancer cells. Because cancer cells are developed through the years because of what you eat, what you drink, what you inhale, and that's about it. So the more toxicity you put in your system, you have to prove another system that I have invented through the years to take out the toxicity, pardon that term, because I have just arrived from another meeting. Wait a second. So I created a new system to take out the toxicity out from my system without using that stupid chemotherapy. Because in Oklahoma, what we have here already is proton therapy, which is much better than chemo. Because your doctor should always tell you that you have a lump in the throat, in your skin, which, by the way, I took it off on my left eyelid, in your externalities, in your foot. That's the role of your doctor. And if your doctor does not do that on a regular basis, I call it the 6-6 formula, every 6 months, then you better try Dr. Martin Batista. Well, by the way, he is my brother, and he is the talk of Oklahoma because he has about, less than 200,000 established patients. And most of them are very happy, to say the least. But I talk to my brother a lot about cancer because I want to solve cancer tomorrow morning, and I think I can do it. That's one of my achievements, okay? And then, in fairness, I go to, Walmart. I enjoy shopping at Walmart because of the low prices, okay? It gives me that American feel, which I am grateful. So I write that to my report, okay? And by the way, there is already security in Walmart. You won't get shot there anymore. No, seriously, there is security already. And because of the security, most shoppers like me shop more because we don't feel tense, You know how it is in America today. That's our #1 problem, which I'm going to solve again. And then I go to the library. By the way, in what do you call this? In America, in the 50 mainland states, the library is the most unappreciated asset of this great nation. And I love reading. I update myself in the best knowledge that is out there possible. As I like to say, the more you know, the more you earn. The more money you make, the more prosperous you are in America, and I think you'll be a lot happier with your family. So those are the things that I'd like to bring out immediately and tell the American populace at large. At the Prosperity Channel, we are very action-oriented. We are very results-oriented. And with this new immigration report card, which we call M.A.R, Monthly Achievement Report, I'm telling you right now, in less than a year, all the immigrants the new ones, including me, will become the number one asset of this great nation. The number one asset. And so, let me continue. I'd like to also put in the report who was the person that encouraged me or made me an American citizen. Because if I screw up, the endorser will say, well, I don't want to endorse you. I'd like to be very clear on that. That's a very ticklish issue. If I screw up, let's say I do something wrong, illegal, that person who endorsed me is liable in a way. But I don't know if he is legally liable, but I can assure you, if that person happened to be the likes of George Soros, then it's very clear. They don't like America. They destroy America every day. And again, this is based on evidence. Like what the Ledesmas did to me back in the Philippines and here in the great state of California. So there's no room for error here. Okay? So let me go further. So, if I have a grade A on all my achievements every single month, what happens? You get rewarded. You get rewarded, okay? It can be a monetary reward or it can be an intangible reward so that it will not be inflationary. That's a very ticklish issue because we don't want America to be used or abused. But this is a good way to make the new citizens be more productive and give more to the society at large. But not in a way that it would be abusive or, should I say, unfair on both parties. Again, I cannot tell you on the air what the details are on this matter because it is not yet a law after all. Or it might be copied by the Canadians. Okay? So I'd like to think in advance so that I would not be in a position where I would over-explain this matter where, as I said, it might be copied by other nations at large. Because we want this to become an asset, a big, big asset to contributing to the immediate success of this great nation. Because I don't agree, well, let's say a person who does mass shooting, okay? A person who does mass shooting. Now, this is a different subject matter which is related to mass shooting. I do not believe there should be a law immediately that once a mass shooting is done by any individual, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, LGBT, whatever entity, must be deported within 24 hours. Including the immediate family. And going to my first objective or proposal to the President and the good Secretary, Christino, how do we solve the shooting, mass shooting? It happened during the time of President Obama, President Clinton, President Bush. President Biden, and it will not happen anymore. That I can tell you, because President Trump, I can assure you, will listen to this great proposal of mine. And there will be 0% in the states that will agree to this plan. Look what happened to Dallas, Texas. A realtor, by the way, I'm a realtor too, a co-realtor of mine, just enjoying the nightlife of Dallas, Texas, one of the best places to unwind. I've been there so many times. And Dallas people are very friendly. He just swiped the car, he touched it. The guy just touched it with his girlfriend, realtor. And the guy looked at him in a very strong way, and he pulled the gun. And the other guy pulled the gun. And before you know it, the guy pointed the gun and immediately fired, opened fire, on the girl who was not armed at all. And the guy who was armed was shot. The girl was shot to death. And it goes on and on. And who suffers? Us, in general. Everybody suffers. Because it devalues the name of an American. So, once this proposal, by the way, it's already finished. I'm just waiting for the right courier to send it direct to the president, President Trump and Secretary No. CC, Secretary No, furnished copy. CC means furnished copy. So, I'd like to be very clear here. If this plan will be made effective tomorrow morning, I guarantee you, no more mass shooting. The kids will think once, twice, thrice. Not unless they are truly insane. But again, there is a way to determine if a person is truly insane. It is not the insane definition. I'll get into that again. Okay? But the bottom line is, if I make a mistake, I'm out of here. I will leave this country tomorrow morning. But if not, I think it's very clear. I am going to become one of the greatest American citizens of all time. It's either of the two. There's no in between. Either I solve this mass shooting once and for all, or I don't. And there will be consequences and rewards. Because I know what shooting is all about. 18 times, 16 times total from 1982. No. Early 1970s to the present, I had 16 death shootings, attempted murder on my very own life. I know what it takes. And when I was in California, I was killed there also. I know the pressure. I know what it takes to get out of that quagmire. And as you know, many multinationals respect my abilities to negotiate big time on big contracts, the largest contracts in their history. And we're talking about Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Johnson & Johnson, and the list goes on. I know what it takes. It's very, very tough. It's only for the talented, not the wants to be talented. It's either you have it or you don't. It's nonstop pressure. In fact, it's a thankless job once you do it because it's nonstop pressure. But that will be probably in the next 5 years. But on the 6th year, by that time, my prediction, the curve would be, they will be all gone. All the bad people who want to shoot a person because of one reason or the other will be gone. In fact, as I told you, their whole family have to be, must be deported. Because actually, it is the father and the mother of that kid who started it all. Why raise a kid where you cannot even guarantee the society at large that he will not shoot a fellow kid or a fellow child? That will be all part of the law. So the law with which I'm going to be submitting has to be implemented immediately, so we can immediately monitor all establishments, especially universities, schools, and educational facilities. But being legalistic about the matter, if the deportation will have to have a hearing, then so be it, because it is part of the Constitution. However, if the president will come out with emergency powers in the name of solving mass shooting once and for all, then I believe, in my legal opinion, this can be submitted to the Senate, the Congress, to become a law and become part of the Constitution. And I'm telling you right now, if there is going to become another mass shooting, it's so sad. It's so sad because your Congress, the congressman you voted, and the senator you voted simply dropped the ball again and again and again. And the whole nation suffers. And who is happy? George Soros. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, I am putting my reputation and honor and talents on the line. Who do you believe, me or George Soros? They want to destroy America. And I'm not, going to play games with them, Meaning to say, well, you said that because you are affiliated with this. No. I'm doing this because of the fact that I know I can solve this problem of mass shooting. That's it. And I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, it can be solved. That's the good news. I'm not the guy like Ledesma who's going to play games and play what? Football. He's there, Going to Tony. Fooling Tony again, the usual. But I am going to be very, very specific. No hidden agendas. No playing games. Basic procedures, legal procedures to solve the problem of mass shooting. So the senators and the congressmen who will not agree to President Trump again, must be held not only accountable, but must be impeached tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. Meaning to say, there will be an immediate caucus to impeach these anti-Americans who pretend to be pro-Americans. And the shooting will stop overnight. The shootings will stop overnight. And above all, America's back to prosperity, because the basis of any economic prosperous nation, the foundation, the basis, is still peace and order. Civilized people love making more money, and the money will just flow, America. Unlike what's happening right now, I go to Piedmont here in Oklahoma, a lot of poor children. I go to central Oklahoma City, a lot of poor children. Poor children. And no wonder they go to the university, the elementary school, mad. Because they're not making money. The dad is not making money. The mom is not making money. So I hate everybody. You hit me, I go back home, I take the gun, mass shooting again and again and again. All because of the lack of laws that is enforceable every single second. And as I told you, I have good military background. We know what the rules of engagement are. We know what is possible in a military professional manner. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in a state right now that you feel there's going to be another mass shooting, because every day there's quarrel, every day there is conflict, every day there is racial issues, the number to call, 405-503-8511, and I am on Viber. Meaning to say, if you are in some other country, I can be able to help you come out with that new law for your country as well. But in fairness to your country, America is becoming the mass shooting capital of the world. So my Viber number is 405-503-8511. This is Gavin Batista, the most trusted in the world when it comes to prosperity. My email address is superdeals1494@gmail.com. You can email me in my other email address if I don't respond within 24 to 72 hours, but in the United States, my response time is 24 hours, and for other countries, it's 72 hours maximum, would be Midwestern91@gmail.com. Again, one more time, that's superdeals with an S. I love S. I love S. Superdeals with an S, 1494@gmail.com, and the other email address, furnish copy it, CC it at midwestern91@gmail.com. Again, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon in our next prosperous broadcast. This is Gavin Batista, Sunday, April 4, Oklahoma City time, or should I say CT time, which means to say Central Time here in the United States. of America.